I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. According to Wikipedia, the USS Stark incident occurred during the Iran-Iraq War on the 17th of May 1987, when an Iraqi jet aircraft fired 2 Exocet missiles at the American frigate USS Stark. A total of 37 United States Navy personnel were killed or later died as a result of the attack, and 21 were injured. USS Stark was part of the Middle East Task Force assigned to patrol off the Saudi Arabian coast near the Iran-Iraq War exclusion boundary. The United States Central Command identified the attacking aircraft as an Iraqi Dassault Mirage F-1 fighter. Later reports asserted that the attacking aircraft was a Dassault Falcon 50 business jet, which had been modified with a radar and missile hardpoints to carry 2 AIM-39 Exocet missiles for anti-shipping operations. The F-1EQ-5 variant of the Mirage F-1, operated by Iraq, was capable of carrying only 1 Exocet. Iraq had used modified Falcon jets in civilian markings to conduct covert photographic reconnaissance in the Persian Gulf to avoid attracting suspicion. Initially not alarmed, at 22:09, Captain Glenn R. Brindle ordered a radio man to send the message, quote, "Unknown aircraft, this is U.S. Navy warship on your 087 for 12 miles. Request you identify yourself," end quote. The Iraq pilot did not respond to the message. The ship's captain ordered a second message sent, to which there was no reply. At 22:10, Brindle was informed the Iraqi aircraft had targeted his ship, locking his Serrano 4 fire control radar onto Stark. The Iraqi aircraft then fired the first Exocet missile 22 miles from the ship and the second Exocet from 15 miles. The pilot then banked left and began to withdraw. Stark's search radar, ESM, and CIWS systems failed to detect the incoming missiles. The first Exocet missile struck the port side of the ship near the bridge. Although it failed to detonate, rocket fuel ignited and caused a large fire that quickly spread throughout the ship's post office, storeroom, and the Combat Operations Center, where the ship's weapons are controlled. The second Exocet also struck the port side 30 seconds later. This missile detonated, leaving a 10 by 15-foot hole in the frigate's left side. Electronics for Stark's standard missile defense went out, and Brindle could not order his men to return fire. An AWACS plane was still in the area, and just after witnessing the attack, radioed a nearby Saudi airbase to send aircraft for an interception. But the ground controllers did not have the authority to order a sortie, and the Iraqi jet left unharmed. The United States Navy rules of engagement allowed Stark to defend herself after sufficiently warning the hostile aircraft. A total of 37 crew were killed in the attack, 29 from the initial explosion and fire, including 2 lost at sea. 8 later died from their injuries. 21 others survived their wounds. Brindle ordered the starboard side flooded to keep the hole in the hull's port side above water. This helped prevent Stark from sinking. Brindle quickly dispatched a distress call after the first missile hit. It was received by USS Waddell, which was in the area, and USS Conyngham, with 2/3 of its crew on liberty in Bahrain. Waddell and Conyngham arrived to provide damage control and relief to Stark's crew. According to the Pentagon, an Iranian helicopter joined a Saudi Arabian vessel to aid in rescue operations. Stark arrived at Bahrain the following day, the 18th of May 1987. There she was temporarily repaired by the destroyer tender USS Acadia before setting a course for Mayport Naval Station, Florida, the ship's home port. A court of inquiry under Rear Admiral Grant Sharp was formed to investigate the incident, and later Captain Brindle was recommended for court-martial, but was ultimately only reprimanded and relieved of duty. It was found that Stark was 2 miles outside the exclusion zone and had not violated neutrality as the Iraqis had claimed. Iraq apologized, and Saddam Hussein said that the pilot mistook Stark for an Iranian tanker. American officials claimed that the Iraqi jet's pilot was not acting under orders from his government and that he was later executed, but an Iraqi Air Force officer later stated that the pilot was not punished and that he was still alive. According to Jean-Louis Bernard, author of Heroes of Baghdad, T1 editions, JPO 2017, the pilot, Abdul Rahman, would have received the Medal of Bravery at the end of a joint Iraqi-American Commission of Inquiry. His subsequent defection to Iran is not mentioned in this book. Jean-Louis Bernard also confirms the use of a Falcon 50 during this action. Iranian Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousavi called it a, quote, divine blessing, end quote, and reiterated the standard Iranian view that the Persian Gulf is, quote, not a safe place for the superpowers, and it is in their interest not to enter this quicksand, end quote. Iraq Foreign Ministry spokesman said Iraq would never intentionally attack any target in the Gulf unless it was Iranian, and laid the blame on Iran. Washington used the incident to pressure Iran, which it later blamed for the whole situation. President Ronald Reagan said, quote, we've never considered them hostile at all, end quote, and, quote, the villain in the piece is Iran, end quote.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.